Hello, welcome and welcome back. This is Jacob continuing the file narrations for the various characters in Arknights. And today we're in the next category with the next 6-star, namely a caster. And holy hell, I forgot before starting preparing for this video how many freaking casters I have on 6 stars. At least for the 6-star category. Being Ea, Mustima, Ifrit. Passenger is there, but he doesn't fit the category yet. He needs 15% more to be there to qualify. But the other ones are there. Now, like I said at the beginning of the first video, and I really don't want to repeat myself, but just want to say, yes, there are probably more interesting people. Like, I would probably rather do a Ifrit video considering her background and connection to Rhinelab and the holy mother of what the hell experiments she had to go through. But like I said on the first video, for the first batch of all the categories, I'll probably not on all of them, but on most of them I'm probably gonna prioritize characters that have been with me the longest and have carried me through the game for the longest. And yes, little Miss Volcano Goat here has been with me literally since her very first banner and has freakingly carried me through most of the game. I will not lie. So yeah, today we're gonna go through her file and her voice lines. Sadly, she is not included in the first batch of English voice actors. So a bit sad, but whatever. I at least wanted to hear how she sounds in English and who is gonna be voicing her in the future. But we'll see when the time comes for that. But yeah, anyway, let's begin with the file, shall we? So, basic info. Codename Eyjafjalla. Gender female, combat experience none. Combat experience none. I am sorry, game. I wish I could add a number here of here is the number of stages you have used this character on so far, and here is the number of enemies this character has defeated so far. I'm kind of sad and happy now that the game doesn't actually tell you that she would have some insane numbers. Anyway, place of birth, Lithuanian. Date of birth, October 18th. Race, I think this is pronounced Caprin. Might be wrong. Height 145 centimeters or 4.75 feet. Infection status showed physical signs of originium. Infection confirmed by medical report. Physical exam. Physical strength normal, mobility normal, physical resilience normal, tactical acumen normal, and combat skill normal. Originium arts assimilation outstanding. Profile. Eyjafjalla, volcanologist, catastrophe messenger. She is exceptionally talented in the use of advanced originium techniques and high energy arts. Currently undergoing treatment at Rhode Island, Eyjafjalla provides support in catastrophe research, environmental observation assessment, assistance in traversing dangerous terrain, amongst others. Clinical analysis. Imaging tests for this operator showed blurry outlines of internal organs with visible dark spots. Unusually high concentration of originium particles were present in her circulatory system, indicating infection and confirming her as infected at this stage. Cell originium assimilation 8%. Eyjafjalla showed conspicuous symptoms of infection, with corresponding deafness. Blood originium crystal density 0.5 units per liter. The level of Eyjafjalla's internal crystals are comparatively high. I just want to point out here, I keep forgetting to look it up to remind myself, but I remember it being mentioned somewhere that above 20% originium assimilation is pretty much death. I believe it's 20%. I can't remember right now from the top of my head, but I do remember that the units per liter thing is, if it's above 0.3 or 0.4, it's pretty much in front of death's door at that point. That is a high concentration of crystals in the blood. Anyway, archive file number 1. Yeah, but what I was trying to say, if someone who is listening to this actually remembers the actual numbers for this, I would highly appreciate it. I really can't remember from the top of my head right now. Anyway, archive file number 1. When Eyjafjalla showed up at Rhode Island for the first time, the personnel leading her to human resources noticed some odd behaviors right off the bat. She couldn't make out what people were saying and would sometimes run into things. People assumed she was some operator's visiting little sister or an intern sent by the pharmaceutical department. A few days later, they were shocked to receive a notice from the executives approving the infected Eyjafjalla for missions and the research of arts and catastrophes as an official Rhode Island operator. It turns out the little girl they overlooked was a legend among the most renowned academies in Lithuania, fueling speculation about her level of education. The optimists believed having a young person in the arts department would bring much needed energy to their somber daily grind. They debated in low but excited voices over who would mentor her internship. The pessimists lamented that as a infected, no one could predict where Eyjafjalla might end up in the future. Archive file number 2. Jesus, what's wrong with my voice right now? According to forms filled out by Eyjafjalla, she was born to a prominent academic family in Lithuania. Her parents worked at William University, her father a graduate professor for the School of Originium, her mother an environmental and ecological research specialist. The couple died in a volcanic eruption during a survey. Eyjafjalla's parents had begun a project to study natural catastrophes on Terra, and the volcano was a key site. Among the files Eyjafjalla took with her to Rhode Island, she treasured the report on that volcano most of all. She didn't want the study to end with the passing of her parents, so she decided to continue it in their stead. Volcanic research must be done on-site before eruption and requires long-term close-range observation. With originium components tend to be common in volcanic areas, and cooling lava constantly turned over new originium veins, making the region a breeding ground for ripophy. This is believed to be the reason for Eyjafjalla's infection. Archive file number 3. Eyjafjalla's physical symptoms are very obvious. Ripophy has impaired her hearing considerably, sometimes robbing her of the sense entirely. Fortunately, the impairment has slowed given treatment to Rhode Island. Eyjafjalla typically uses a hearing aid or asks her conversant to repeat loudly themselves in order to communicate. In addition, certain facial expressions and body language have also proven effective. For example, shaking one's head, unsuccessful dialogue. Shaking one's head with a surprised expression. Very likely some words have been misunderstood and should be clarified immediately. Nodding, successful dialogue. Nodding with a positive expression. Idea successfully communicated, proceed with dialogue. Still, one must be mindful of the context, since the present dialogue might be built on the pretext of a previously unnoticed misunderstanding. Repeating a word or sentence multiple times, Eyjafjalla is confirming what's been communicated to her. Respond positively and mind one's volume. Glassy-eyed or negative expression. Misunderstanding has possibly occurred. Review previous dialogue to avoid greater misunderstanding. Archive file number 4. Classified. I've perused Eyjafjalla's files in a draft of her thesis, The Impact of Underground Originium Veins on Volcanic Cycles, an investigative report on the correlation between originium and natural catastrophes, plus a few other analyses are very well done and reasoned. Also, very dangerous. I hope everyone realizes she's asking dangerous questions in dangerous areas, and not just academic ones. You do know ants, right? Then you should know ants love carrion. Even though the carrion is still rotting, the ants will still rip it to tiny chunks and carry them back to their nest to feed the whole community. Ants must grow stronger to survive in the world. Do you get it? If the carrion is originium, we are feeding our community with it for everyone to grow stronger. And the purpose of that is to defend ourselves, and maybe oppose potential changes in the future. Yes, according Eyjafjalla's thesis, originium is a natural catastrophe, but we cannot stop, and will not stop. Let the child continue her research for now, before she can be certain of her own future. Excerpt from a closed-door conference, spoken by Redacted. Promotion record. Eyjafjalla's pets serve a similar role as Operator Mouse's kitties. Eyjafjalla's dark woolen companions appear identical to normal animals in physiology and behavior. Eyjafjalla calls them little black sheep, claiming they were gifts from her mother when she was still alive. Unlike the naughty kitties, the little black sheep are submissive and sluggish. Their idea of fun is to nap in Eyjafjalla's room or someplace spacious at Rhode Island. They helped Eyjafjalla with many things like move books and deliver goods. They even make good fluffy pillows for her to lay her head on. Classified log. This is not really confidential information, but something I believe is noteworthy. Although Eyjafjalla dubbed them little, they're still big pets. Given their size, it is odd that they are hardly spotted in Rhode Island. On retrospect, it is suspicious that they only showed up to graze or when Eyjafjalla needed them. Another usual phenomenon is when they give off high heat when angry or excited, possibly burning your hand when touched. The truth behind all this is worth investigating. And this final part is kind of very interesting. First off, unlike most operatives where they, for the art piece for E2s, they place like an animal in the background which corresponds with the race that the person is supposed to be. For Eya, these sheep are actually there. They are actually her companions. They are actually helping her go around volcano sites or just Rhode Island in general. They're pretty much what's the word I'm looking for? Shit, I cannot remember. The medical dogs? Whatever. But yeah, they're actually there. Also, the way this is phrased at the end, considering a few theories that are flying about, like, for example, originium being potentially a live organism, maybe potentially even being some kind of hive mind or whatever the hell. And she works around volcano fields, and her parents work both around volcano fields, and she says that they have been presents from her mother. Kind of puts a theory in my head that these sheep might just be some form of maybe sentient originium. Now, did the originium, if it's sentient originium, did it transform itself into the sheep to just blend in with environments? Or did it infect the sheep that were close by and her mother found them and found out what it is? Because there is also a whole conspiracy of her parents not just dying because of a volcano explosion, considering they were experts on on that field, but potentially being killed, and it may have been made to look like they died to the catastrophe. But who the hell knows? Maybe one day there's gonna be a big reveal in some side story or whatever the hell, but we'll see. But yeah, interesting theory. I'm just gonna put this out. These sheep are potentially either an originium life form that got blasted up by a volcano from somewhere deep underground, and the reason why they are so docile and don't know what to actually do and just follow whoever is in charge, or they think is in charge, might just be because if they are a hive mind, they're just cut off from their actual body and are their own entity now. Also, Eya has high density of originium in her body, so they might just look at her like pretty much part of the hive mind clan, whatever. But yeah, just my own theory here. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up now, and we're gonna go over the sound files. So enjoy.
先輩、この前お借りした天才研究ノート全部読んじゃいました。同じようなもの他にまだありますか？何か？ああ、どうして先輩って呼んでいるかですか？それは先輩が天才研究の専門家なので、研究者として私の先輩にあたる方だからですよ。何ですか？ああ、私の聴力悪化の原因ですか？実は火山の近くで研究していた時にオリパシーに感染してしまって、先輩からいただいた仕事の合間にケルシー先生の検査も受けないと。私の病状は結構深刻な状態らしいんです。両親から引き継いだ研究を形にするにはもっと頑張らないと。もしこの研究の有用性を証明できたら世界が驚くとんでもない発見になるかも。私の両親はもう亡くなりました。火山周辺で観測を行っていた時に火砕流にあって、私何があっても両親の意思を受け継ぐつもりです。遊び相手？ムースたちが仲良くしてくれるので寂しくはないですよ。できたら今度みんなで読書会をしたいと思っているんです。場所は先輩の執務室でもいいですか？聴力だけでなく視力も悪化してきているとケルシー先生から聞きました。オリパシーは私をどこまで連れて行く気なんでしょうね。どうして後ろにいるのがわかるのかですか？それは先輩の体温を感じたからです。耳も目も悪くなりましたが、その分他の感覚が鋭敏になっているというか、こう見えても私なかなかしぶといんですよ。先輩眠っておられるんですね。はじめまして、私はエイヤフィアトラです。ここに来る前は火山の研究をしていました。オリパシーの影響で耳が悪いのでご迷惑をかけるかもしれませんが、よろしくお願いします、先輩。もっとご指導をお願いします、先輩。昇進？本当ですか？先輩に褒めていただけるなんてすごく嬉しいです。この黒い羊たちはお母さんが残した唯一の形見なんです。先輩も可愛いと思いますよね。熱い？ああ、待って、断熱手袋をつけないとやけどしちゃいますよ。わかりました、先輩。武器はもちろん 防災用具も忘れちゃダメですよ。先輩、私たちのことは気にせず全体の指揮に専念してください。皆さん、安全確保が第一です。先輩、ご命令を。気をつけて行動しますね。頑張ります。温度安定しています。少し暑いかもしれませんよ。火事には気をつけてください。これでどうです？先輩、大丈夫そうですか？よかった。どうして争いは終わらないんでしょう。皆さんご無事ですか？私にできることはありますか？大丈夫です。この部屋はすごく安心できますね。驚かさないでくださいよ、先輩。私をこんなに成長させてくれてありがとうございます、先輩。アークナイツ先輩、おはようございます。
Alright, this will be it for today's video. And once again, thank you all for listening, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.